with the Lord Farquaad haircut.
I don't think Gal Gadot's attractive.
I think she's pretty enough.
I think she like
She's
if you
hot
look at
take.
your thumb,
Ben hates women.
I think if you look at your thumb, you're like, that's a sexy thumb. Gal Gadot's hot to you.
Audio.
I think she does a good job as Wonder Woman, though.
I think the only time she did anything good was in Death on the Nile, and not
Death
just
on the
because
Nile
she
was all right.
died.
Video. Speed.
I like. I like.
Are we
her in
sounding
that.
good?
Yeah.
All right. What about, did you see, she's in a movie. It's a shitty movie that's good. It's a good, bad movie. It's got The Rock, Gal Gadot, and, is it Woody Harrelson? No,
Not a
maybe a
clue.
younger guy. It's a Netflix movie. And it's a big convoluted mess. But it was entertaining as hell. Ryan Reynolds. And she was good in that too. And it's like you can't take it seriously, but it has the greatest part ever. Ryan Reynolds, you know how in Infinity War they're going to go into, who is it? War Machine.
Uh-huh.
And what's her name? We're going to go into the temple of the whatever of, you know what I mean? And he's like, well, what are you doing? You can't just walk in there. That's when skeletons come out and stuff. You know how he's making reference to...
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds makes a reference to Indiana Jones at the end of that movie. And then you hear this. He's whistling it. He's walking through it. It's entertaining as hell, even though it's stupid and convoluted. And I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's only on Netflix. It was a Netflix original.
Not a big fan of Netflix originals.
Not me usually either.
Animated ones, they're pretty good.
But that one City of the Dead or whatever, the Zack Snyder one,
Dias de Muertos.
I thought that was pretty good.
With Batista?
Yeah. That was
I heard a
kinda
lot of
cool.
good things about that.
And like they're not like it's aliens controlling zombies. Turns out it was pretty cool. The only bad thing is somebody got canceled, socially canceled,
Uh-huh.
and then they replaced that person with Tig Notaro, who it does look like she's shoehorned in, and she's just not that funny.
Oh,
She's not as funny as she thinks she is. That's for damn sure.
bummer.
Bummer.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Do you
All right.
have to get that close?
I bad with it.
Hey, you sound good, man.
Thanks.
On what was the last one we did?
The
That's not
technical
even out
last
yet.
one? The last one we did was The Hobbit.
Yeah, you talk a ton on that.
Yeah.
Like it sounds good too.
Thanks.
He better talk a ton on this, too.
Oh, I did. I know.
And he better not,
You didn't even watch it.
better not compare this to a Family Guy episode, which it's not based on.
I'm gonna do that, but also I'm gonna mention how much stuff you have at your house about this movie.
I have like 2 things.
Roll them.
Ah, yes, come in. Our featured presentation is about to start. You have entered into cult cinema with the dastardly evil CheeseFilm and my partner in crime, Hecubus. This is the Grindhouse Podcast. We're coming to get you, Barbara.
Hello, and welcome back to the Grindhouse Podcast. I am your host, CheeseFilm, and today's film is The House on Haunted Hill.
Seems like you've done this one before.
It does, just like that, about a whole year ago.
Yeah.
A whole year. Look at that. This video is 1 day late because it is airing today, the 31st, which is a Sunday, instead of our regularly scheduled hour of 3 o'clock on Saturdays. That is because I like symmetry. So this is this week's episode, and if you've been following us on all our social medias, this is the video in which you need to post which one of our awesome episodes is your favorite. That's right, we had that sweepstakes, and you are still eligible. Drawings will conclude in a couple weeks when we get all the answers in. So It's your chance to decide which one of our episodes you liked the best. And you can win a full set of stickers and a really awesome Grindhouse Podcast shirt. I ordered it. Courtney tested it out. It looks great. We put it through the wash. The official
I saw
one.
it. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's got the logo on the chest part, and then our picture on the back.
I saw it upstairs. It looks really good.
It does look really good.
I was this close to stealing it.
I almost said
he's gonna steal it.
he might steal.
You're gonna have to buy.
I might win the
He's gonna
sweepstakes.
steal it.
I might be the sweepstakes winner.
And we're getting a lot of talk like that. Welcome back. It's been 1 year. We are revisiting the very first episode we've done, A House on Haunted Hill. And instead of just instead of just me
you
awkwardly talking into a microphone with papers that you can even hear me fumbling with.
Yeah, a couple times.
This is a little bit
That's
more
all right.
professional and prepared. Well, because it
looks great now too.
Only a little bit.
The idea was that I was actually speaking to you, the viewer, and it was just kind of me and you were having a good conversation. But now we've evolved. Now you're part of it. Now you are the conversation. Yeah, you're in the cult of CheeseFilm. So yeah, it's 1959.
59.
William Castle's, in my opinion, greatest movie he ever made. He made a handful of films, and I think this is the best one he's done.
This might be. I'm not familiar with William Castle, but I like this movie, and I would watch more. And obviously, coming up, we watched another one, and that was really good too.
I don't know if he did the original Wax Museum movie. That's like the haunting of the.
Is Vincent Price in that?
No.
Okay.
Vincent Price is in the remake of that one. And the Vincent Price one is the superior version of that film.
Well, but the Vincent Price one might be the William Castle one. Because after this movie, Vincent Price wanted to work with him again, and he works with him in 2 consecutive movies. I don't know which one is, and The Tingler.
Because this one, he liked William Castle so much.
He liked him so much.
The Tingler is apparently, because I never really thought of it, because it's about a little weird alien thing that they're like, oh, it's a centipede, but it's not. That one apparently is the one that all the kids like, and this is the one that I have to remind people is around.
Yeah, I guess The Tingler's pretty good, but if you saw Dark Skies, it's an alien thing that looks like that. It's just like, it's long, and it has things that stick into you, and it controls your mind.
Is The Tingler a scary movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
not a scary movie, but it's a.
It's a horror movie, but it's also
goofy,
gimmicky. No, gimmicky, and this had a gimmick too.
Yes, it did. And I almost. I talked about it in the original episode with the skeleton, and I have one, and I was gonna.
What do you mean you have one?
I have a skeleton.
Oh, just a skeleton,
not skeleton.
Not the.
No. Oh, if I had the skeleton,
and it's not down here,
in a better studio.
And I was gonna have the skeleton be in the chair with the hat and do a voiceover.
Shoot, that'd have been cool.
But William Castle also did a movie called Homicidal, the lady from Shanghai.
Homicide was his. Listen. I'm pretty sure this is the one. It's not 13 Ghosts. Alfred Hitchcock loved this movie.
Yeah.
Made a ton of money because it was so cheap. So Alfred Hitchcock made Psycho.
Yeah. He's like, well, I'll make my own low budget movie.
The House on Haunted Hill, inspired Alfred Hitchcock to make Psycho, which then inspired Castle to make Homicide, or the first one you said.
Yeah.
Was it Homicide?
Homicidal, I think.
Homicidal, yeah, Homicidal.
Because William Castle, he also produced Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's right up his alley,
according to IMDb here. The Tingler, 13 Ghosts, 13 Frightened Girls, too. So he's known for, it's
schlock. It's B-movie schlock, yeah. And that is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's funny. This is a horror movie called Schlock.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
it's like a big name guy made it, too.
Yeah. And it's got a weird
what's his name?
creature. Randy, look that up.
Oh my God!
Who
Schlock might be the one that is also. Why are we not talking about House on Haunted? Schlock might be the movie that is Tom Savini's first movie, And, like Brian De Palma made it or somebody. It's somebody
Really?
like that. Yeah. Schlock is a big deal.
Did Brian De Palma make Sorcerer?
No, William Friedkin made Sorcerer.
Freaking. That movie just got in the Criterion Collection.
Sorry,
it?
I forgot the
gotta
made-up
see
word.
that.
What is the word?
Schlock.
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 Give me one.
Schlock.
S
Can you use it in a
S-
sentence?
SCH
Yes.
L.
Yes.
O
Just like it
C.
sounds.
K C as in cat.
K
K.
as in clock.
You said who wrote it?
O as in O.
Who's
Isn't
attached
that I forgot his name.
As in Robert Loggia.
Robert Loggia.
All right, we got John Landis,
John Landis.
Landis. Yeah.
Saul Kahan, Joseph Piatitos.
These are all no-name actors. But I'm
John
pretty
Landis
sure
is a
that
big
that's
name.
Tom Savini's first movie too. And he did that.
Richard Gillis plays Officer Gillis.
Huh.
Ah.
Okay. All right. So back to House on Haunted Hill because that's a good tangent.
That is a good
But
tangent.
this movie deserves its praise.
It does.
I think. It's pretty good.
So, but I believe in the first time we talked about this, I had said that this was my introduction to Vincent Price.
Yep.
And that when I was watching this, on side A was Night of the Living Dead,
Yep, right.
which terrified me.
Yeah.
And on side B was The House on Haunted Hill, which I thought was one of the greatest movies ever made. It's like perfect for kids, you know?
Yeah,
like when
it
you're a
is.
young
It is.
kid, like
It's because it's Scooby Doo is like modeled after it.
exactly like it's so Scooby-Doo. To the point where like
Vincent Price goes roll. He doesn't
like
do
I honestly think that like if James Gunn was to make like Scooby-Doo 3,
that.
this would have been great for that.
Sure.
Haunted house, mysterious ghost, but
Yep.
it turns out that somebody might have been pulling the strings the entire time.
Literally.
Yeah. It's super. And you know what? And William Castle makes good Scooby-Doo movies about Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Because like The Tingler and 13 Ghosts, I could 100% see. Well, I mean,
Absolutely.
13 Ghosts ended up becoming a Scooby-Doo property with Vincent
Yeah.
Price
Right.
as Vincent Van Ghoul, who would become a reoccurring character later on, played by the guy who voices the Brain from Peaky and the Brain.
Yeah, I know. I don't
He
know
does
his
a
name.
Vincent Price impression, and he's taken up that character.
He does Orson Welles good too.
Yeah, he does. But yes, the movie that started it all.
Yeah, okay. Directed by William Castle, written by Robb White, and produced by both of those two guys.
Yes.
Starring Vincent Price, Carol Ohmart, Richard Long, Alan Marshall, Carolyn Craig, Julie Mitchum, and Elisha Cook,
Who is a
Grindhouse alumni.
yeah. He and Mr. Vincent Price. He's
Yeah, definitely.
Elijah has been in The Big Sleep and The Maltese Falcon
Yep.
and House on Haunted Hill. So again, my first impressions were like, this is the perfect Halloween movie. I think this movie is, it sets a good spooky vibe. It gives
does.
you, it puts you right into that like,
In a fun way.
yeah, like go trick or treating kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those horror classics for a reason. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, it's Elvira's.
Is that why you picked it
Favorite.
as your first episode?
Is because it's a horror classic.
Like, why did you pick? Was it all these elements, or is it just because it had Vincent Price in it?
So I picked it as the first episode because I had just recently watched it, really liked it, and was on the fence about doing a podcast. And I was like, well, I'll talk about that one because it's something I liked as a kid, I like as an adult, so we'll bring it in. It then kicked off the 4 other Vincent Price movies that I did immediately
right
after.
All right.
But yeah, so that's why I picked it. It's just because it was, and it's like it's in the public domain,
Yeah,
which
that
is awesome because anybody can remake it. Even
We could have got clips for this one.
Oh, you're right. No, because I think.
I don't.
All right, we don't need to. Tell
who
it yet.
owns those
Yeah,
clips?
We're not making the sausage right now.
Stop flagging us, YouTube. We don't like that.
Okay.
Anyway,
So yeah,
it's a
those are all the
Halloween
people that
vibe.
were in it.
But I will say that so this version I've got has I think it's in 3D
Get out.
It's in color.
Did it come with glasses?
No, I have glasses.
Are they red and blue glasses or are they clear glasses? I mean, that kind of 3D?
Oh, yeah, it's in red and blue.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, so 3D, it's got the colored version and the black and white version.
I watched the black and white version on purpose.
You should.
Because there's another version that's not colorized. Somebody made it. It was on Shudder. It's like all one color. And
It's that all blue or something?
It was red on the
reason.
thumbnail thing. I'm like, I don't want to see that. Are you showing that stuff, Tom, while I'm talking?
The houses and stuff, yeah.
Okay, but anyway, so I wanted to watch the pure first one. I'm glad I did, the black and white one.
So
that's the house that's on Haunted Hill. He kept showing. Yeah, and I got a clip from the movie, and then one in the daylight because Andrew Lloyd Wright designed that house. Mm-hmm. Who was a famous architect. I was impressed as hell. You don't seem to be.
It is a cool house.
Well, because
it's Mayan, like neo-Mayan, and it's made with like 27,000 bricks and stuff. It's very impressive. Now it is in the it's a national park, but you can't go into it. But you can look at the outside all you want to.
You know what's funny? And why I wasn't so impressed with what you're saying? Because I looked into that house too. And I was like, well, why this house? Why is this in the...
Yeah, I thought, man, it looks like... Go on.
It's been in 80 movies.
Like Blade Runner.
Like Blade Runner.
Deckard's house.
It's in Blade Runner.
Is
Buffy
that
the
why
Vampire.
you can't go in it? Is because it's a set?
Well,
no, it's not a set. They go and use their...
It's just the exterior.
Stuff, yeah.
Oh.
It's been in Predator 2, Mulholland Drive, The Rocketeer, and Rush Hour. So if you've seen any of these really kind of 80s movies, you've seen this 90s, house.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool because it's a very distinct house.
It is very distinct.
And in a distinct, because in the remake they overdo it. Have you ever seen the remake to House on Haunted Hill?
No, not House on Haunted Hill. No.
Randy, have you?
No.
So they use an old asylum.
Yeah, right.
And the old asylum becomes a house, and the house is haunted with the actual ghosts.
Right.
When I first made this episode, I talked about how it would be a cool idea to remake this movie and the ghosts be real. Having watched the remake where the ghosts are real,
right?
Don't let them do it like that again. It was bad. It's very, very bad. And it's of the times, because it came out in the 90s.
Yeah, 99, I'm pretty sure.
And it feels like it came out in the 90s.
It came out 50 years. Yeah, 99. It's 70 years or what's 20? 59 to 99. Yeah, that's 40 years.
40 years.
I wrote the wrong thing down.
It's 40 years after.
40 years after.
The guy who plays Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean,
Jeffrey Rush,
is Frederick in that one.
Yep.
And he's... See, this is what I think is kind of funny about the remakes of these Vincent Price movies, this and House of Wax, is that they're making a reference to Vincent Price, not the character.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And there's a part of me that likes that.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that's like, okay, well, I mean, you could have just done your own thing.
Right.
Because if you don't know who they're doing that for, he's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he does a good job. He's the best part of the whole thing. But damn, is it 99? It's like... And if you know what I'm talking about, the vibe you get when you watch those, you wouldn't steal a car, you wouldn't steal a woman's purse, you don't pirate a DVD things.
Yeah.
And how it's like, or the X-Men were edgy, where everything's, it's like that. And it just didn't work. And there's a sequel to it.
Yeah, Return.
And I want to watch it because how did this movie that was a bomb get a sequel?
Right, because it cost nothing to make, probably.
Probably.
And it's got a cool title, Return to the House on Haunted Hill. I like that retro kind of thing. That's the only thing that would make me watch it.
Selling on you. But yeah, so I mean, the legacy of this movie alone has been replicated in a lot of things. If there's any dinner party and ghosts show up, it's a reference to this.
Yeah, right.
Also, I wrote down, so he's a millionaire.
Yep.
He's not a billionaire.
With a house like that.
It's not
Well,
his
in
house.
1959. Yeah, he rents it.
He rents this house.
It's Elijah Cook's
because
house.
it's Elijah Cook's house, and Elijah Cook has only been in there once, and he passed out from fright, but he claims somebody hit him and knocked him out. It's so haunted that anybody who goes in there dies.
Yeah.
So when he rented this house, he had to go there to make sure everybody knew that they were going to die if they stay in this house.
Awesome.
And he's an alcoholic.
And he's an alcoholic, and he wanted $10,000 because that's how much he was offering.
And that's like Vincent Price lists I got a doctor, an airline pilot, a typist, an alcoholic, and I don't know what the other lady. Secretary. Well, the typist is the secretary. What's the older lady?
Oh, I don't know what she does.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Like
but the alcoholic
aristocrat.
was his whole thing.
Yeah. I like how it opens. So it's also unique because the movie opens, it's all silent for
black.
way too long, and then just like
I thought I had a problem.
Me too. When I watched it on YouTube, I was like, wait, did they bootleg this?
and it's like
And then it's just screaming.
And then the screaming, and I'm like, is there no picture? What's going on?
it's like those old Halloween discs you get where it's just like haunted house. And
Yeah.
it's, ooh,
Yeah, it's just noise.
and just a lady screaming, something
Chains.
crashing over here, chains. And then you see Elijah's face.
Yeah.
And he's like, the ghosts are active tonight, which I think is perfectly corny.
It is so corny, and it works so well.
Yeah.
Because it's so old.
So, and they did that. That was technically a jump scare.
That one?
Yeah. So you go into the theater, it's all dark. You're waiting to see this thing that was advertised as so horrifying and so horrific that you couldn't even put it into print. Do you have a poster? Do you have the poster?
Yeah.
With Vincent holding the head?
Yeah.
They couldn't publish that.
And the woman hanging. It's a pretty gruesome poster.
It is. Like, it's, and I love it. I like this artwork too.
Yeah. It's all right.
But I love that.
I think that one's the best.
Did you see the poster upstairs? That same poster. I've got it upstairs.
Yeah, and the skeleton. It hits all the beats of the movie.
Kind of spoils the whole thing.
Yeah, it does.
So they couldn't publish it in print. Everybody's saying it's like terrifying. You go in to see this movie, and it's dark. The theater's dark. The screen's not even playing, but all you hear is torture and chains, and then a
disembodied
comes
head.
up out of nowhere, and he's like, the ghosts are active tonight. And he leaves. And then Vincent comes out the same way, and I kind of think he overdid that one.
Yeah, me too.
Either do one or the other, but don't do both.
It got goofy then.
Yeah.
They should have
Got a
only
little,
did the
and then they
Elijah
start
Cook
spinning too.
I do like how everybody enters in hearses.
Yeah.
Or what do you call them?
Funeral cars.
Funeral cars. I think that's perfect. It is right off the bat. It sets you with that right amount of like cheesy goofballness, where you know that like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's like campy, almost.
we are spoiled with our horror movies.
Oh yeah, totally.
You know, so like you go watch the 2024 Nosferatu movie, and it's got a very gothic, horrific vibe.
Yes, it does.
And you're like, yeah, this is one of the scariest movies of 2024. Here's the scariest movie of 1959. And you're like, I mean, come on, man. It's like the taste of scary.
Like Nosferatu was literally a corpse that's rotting and stuff. And this has a skeleton.
The head, so...
Oh, my God.
Oh,
so the party goers arrive.
Yes,
That's
everybody
where you're at.
arrives, and they kind of start mingling together, and the door slams by itself.
Yep.
And you go up there as Vincent Price.
That's what I thought. They all walk in, and they're sitting there talking for a while.
Yeah.
And then the door closes, and the secretary lady, the typist, goes, "Who closed the door? Why didn't one of you close the door?
Why was it open?
Why was it still open?"
And this is something
they
I
were
talked
born
about
in a
too.
barn, I guess.
Yeah. You never really know whether or not the house is actually haunted or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are unexplainable things that do happen.
Yep.
And then there's things where you find out that it was either
Set up.
somebody else working the strings
Yeah.
there. But then there's stuff like that, or when they go down to the cellar and he gets knocked out, but there was nobody in the room. Like, something did hit him.
Yeah, that's another one. When Why did they get down in the cellar the second time?
Well,
He goes down with the typist. He's the pilot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a pilot. He goes down with the typist into the room again that he got knocked out in.
Because he wanted to see what happened.
Yeah, right. And the ghost was down there.
Yeah.
And then they go into that other room. They measure it like you. So this is where you should be. Blah blah blah. It takes them 5 seconds to walk over there. And then Tom, you have the jump scare.
Oh my God.
You just had that picture up.
The lady.
Oh.
Not that one.
Oh.
And
Yes.
So they walk over there and they find the little cavity or whatever they were trying to look for, and then that woman comes out, and then she floats right out the door. She's screaming her lungs out, and it takes the guy. She goes out, and the guy never sees the blind woman walking past the door, out the door. Some of it's a little too much.
It is.
But that's a good jump scare, though.
It is. So, and I like how, I think it's the first time when all the lights are going out one by one, and then she's in the shadows.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I also think that when the sound she's making, or the wind that's supposed to be blowing those out, that's the alien sound from War of the Worlds.
I didn't hear it. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think that's what the
Yep.
ships make, that same sound. And I think this is one of the first times I could be like, remember we talked about it. Here it is. So you get the first glimpse of her in the lights, and it's kind of eerie. She sees the ghost, and then, you just pan over to her, and she's just a blind woman. She's the help.
She's the help. That's it.
She's not dead. She's not a scary person.
No. Well, she's a scary person.
She just can't see. Well, she's not trying to be. So
Right.
why were you in the dark, coming out of nowhere, standing like this, with a face too, like why?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Then you float off.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't walk, like it's pulled off of screen to make it look like a ghost.
Yeah. But why?
Why?
Why do you walk like that?
Why are you weird?
Yeah.
The cellar is one of my favorite set pieces in this, because you have that giant vat of acid.
I forgot to get a vat of acid picture from Rick and Morty. I was going to. But yeah, and the floor, you got a thing lifts up, and there's just filled with enough for a human to be completely submerged.
And it's because to get one of the owners of the house, his wife said his wine was bad or something like that. So he's like, all right, so just fill it with acid.
I'll teach you.
It's funny, but then you kind of see how Vincent Price, him and his wife, like they very have animosity towards each other, which I kind of like how it's set up that way, to where you're already suspicious of everybody.
Yeah.
And you are suspicious of him too for a while there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Until it's revealed that she gets hung, and then she's not really dead.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, so somebody else is pulling the strings. We know what's going on, but they don't. And I liked that.
Right. And the whole deal is they think that typist, who's just a lowly typist, so she's not smart,
an employee,
too unsophisticated. You know what I mean? It's real insulting to her. It works, but to get her so freaked out that she shoots Vincent Price.
Yeah.
So that she can run off with the doctor because they're having an affair.
Right.
And get all the money.
Because he offers her $1 million tax-free to just leave. He's like, no, I want it all. So it's cool that it's already set up. Like, it's a perfect game of setup and payoff.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Because when Elijah's going through everybody, telling how everybody died and people are missing thing, they never found the 2 heads. And that comes back, they find the 2 heads. But, I mean, they're just like that prop I just saw. They're bad.
They're bad.
So it's I don't know, it's just perfectly set up and paid off, too. So I watched the color version of this to, see the difference. Mm-hmm. This movie is only watch a black and white one.
Oh, really?
It's so, like, because it's colored, like, how it should be, like Technicolor, not Technicolor, but like colored for a 50s movie.
Yeah.
But you have the benefit when black and white is there. So like when the blood's dripping on her hand and it's kind of, thick and it's just there. And they're like, oh, well, it must be a leak in the roof. Because is it blood or is it water? We don't know. It's black and white, but it's
there's
very
a blood
clearly...
stain on the ceiling. It's like nobody knows how she got killed. It's pretty cool. But yeah, and now you're marked by the ghost.
Yeah, you're the first to die.
Yeah.
It's very clearly like fake blood.
Yeah.
Like, it's thick. It's too red.
Too red is the same.
It benefited more from being in black and white. A lot of the way the house is actually colored makes it all look like everything is the same color. So like how we have contrast between like the brick and this, it'd be like if this and this are the same color.
Right.
And you lose a lot. Ironically with the color. So like that's what I'm saying. So like it's October 12th, you throw this movie on.
Right.
And you're in the vibes.
The black and white one.
Yes. So he's offering $50,000 in total.
In total, yeah.
10 for each person who stays. If somebody leaves, they split up the rest. And,
or dies.
You get the rest, right? $50,000 in today's money would be $105,769.42.
Nice.
So a pretty penny.
Yeah.
A pretty good stack of dough right there.
That's $50,000.
So that's the 10,000. So
they would get $100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do
if
it.
all 5 of them survived,
each
one would get $100,000.
Not bad.
The Maltese Falcon with that.
Exactly. If you were the last one to survive, you get $500,000.
Yeah.
Not a bad thing. Yeah. But you're in the house with an actual murderer because she wants to kill her husband.
Yeah, right.
And doesn't really care who gets in the way. The dialogue I pointed out happens about 30 minutes in when he's talking to his wife. He says it's close to midnight. Our guests are arriving. Yeah. Which is the first line of Thriller.
Oh, it's close to midnight. Yeah.
That's how Thriller starts. Which famously has Vincent Price in it.
Yeah.
Ties it back to this movie. I thought that was a pretty cool little detail there.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I never put those two together.
I don't know why, but I mean, like if you watch the Thriller music video, they leave the theater and they've got on the marquee there, they've got a whole bunch of Vincent Price movies. Yeah. And he does the monologue there too. You wouldn't think that he would be this huge guy. He's just the B-movie dude, but he's a cultural icon.
He's the B-movie dude.
Yeah, he's the master of horror. He's
the face of horror for that time too. That's a good picture.
I love that picture. I love that picture so much.
Right. So the whole thing is that's their plan. The doctor and the wife are trying to kill the husband, Vincent Price, by having the typist shoot him. And because that's a stupidest idea in the world. We have alcohol here. Everybody's going to be scared. The doctor says this too. Yep. Here's a gun. Here's a loaded gun. Yeah, that's so stupid.
I also, because he says that he invited his own guests. He didn't invite
her friends.
So how did those two know? How did he get some random doctor who happens to be the guy who's having an affair with his wife?
He probably knew.
And then have the typist who they're trying to get to kill him all in the same room? That's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is quite a bit of a stretch.
But he probably didn't know. He figured it out by the end.
Yeah.
He's playing 3D chess.
He's playing 3D chess.
You're in a different league than
well, everybody else is playing 2D checkers.
Yeah.
William Castle being, I call him the master of gimmicks.
Yeah, he is the master of gimmicks.
He had a skeleton.
Yeah.
That would come down and swing through the audience when it happened in the movie.
Right.
Too, which I think is perfect. And that's kind of what sprung its popularity, is that it was an interactive movie. Mm-hmm. So you had A, the low budget, B, it's too scary to even be put out. And then you have the fact that you go there and it's a literal spectacle coming at you. it was a huge hit.
Yeah, I'm sure kids loved going to see this movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's another plot hole. The skeleton that comes and gets her, pushes her into the vat, is the doctor's skeleton.
Oh.
Right? They're struggling. And then it cuts to black, and you hear
Somebody falling.
fighting, and then somebody goes in the acid.
Yeah.
And then his wife comes down looking for the doctor to make sure Vincent's dead. And the skeleton comes out of the acid and walks towards her, and she's terrified.
Yeah.
And then she the skeleton turns her around and ends up pushing her into the acid. Mm-hmm. So
it either was already set up there.
Right. It makes sense if it was set up already.
Because he comes out with a whole...
Yeah, Vincent Price comes out. He's got this big get-up, Randy Official, to make what's that called? A marionette.
Yeah, to make the puppet
string
walk.
puppet, yeah. And I'm like, this looks like somebody's got strings that are making it walk that way. And turns out that is what it's supposed to be.
And, to give her some credit, though, like, if you thought your husband just died up and the skeleton's coming out in this so-called haunted house, I think I'd have a problem, too.
I would have a problem, too, but I would leave.
Oh, yeah. I think so when they hang her, when she's up there and she's looking down, that's a pretty creepy shot, too.
The rope ghost.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And I think that's her hanging. And then there's the one when she's outside the window and the rope's coming backward. Yeah. How did in real life, how did they get the rope to go around her feet and then unaround her feet back out, and then she's out hanging in the hallway by the time she gets out the door? There's some things it looks cool as hell, though.
It does.
I love the way it looks, and her look when she's hanging is great too. But it makes no sense.
None. I think the rope was probably done in reverse.
I'm sure it was done in reverse, but
it still curls.
Yeah, around her feet.
Yeah. And then straightens.
Yeah.
So it has to have been maybe.
Yeah, you're talking about the special effect. I'm talking about she was standing there. And if it's real, then how they do it. How did that happen?
Right. Also, that's another thing you can't really explain. How is there and it worked out kind of perfectly. There's a ghost outside who's trying to hang you. You took advantage of that situation, but you also got the sedative to slow your heart down.
Right.
So,
and that harness on. Yeah, that stuff makes sense, but the rope makes no sense.
I also like how eerie going out into the hall feels. So, like, everybody gets their own room.
Yeah.
And then you just got these shots of the long hallway and then the curtain in the back.
Yeah.
Which you see people going in and out of.
That part's great. And then when the guy's hand comes around.
Pulls her back.
I love that.
We're here to help.
Yeah, that's all very Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo just drew exactly that.
Scooby-Doo came out in the 60s, early 60s?
Late 60s.
Late 60s. And, like, there's that, if you've seen the Where Are You original show, there's parts where, like, they're walking and then the hand comes forward. Yeah. It's exactly that.
Exactly like that.
Honest to God. Like, it feels like the perfect Scooby-Doo movie.
It really does. I'm going to watch it again. I'm going to use the Scooby-Doo music instead of their music. And the only thing it's missing is there's a hallway with doors on each of them. Like the skeleton's chasing people out of this
from
door.
this one over there, yeah. What? One of them did that thing though. There's a movie I saw.
Head. We just watched Head. They do that.
No. It's a horror movie or maybe it was a dream I had. But
I think it was a dream.
Like they did that where like they'd come in and out of the doors. Yeah. I can't remember what it was.
I do that in my little skit.
Good, that's cool.
No, but it was hilarious. Like a horror movie, and it was obvious a callback to those kinds of things. But now I can't place what it was. And if it was recent, it wasn't like old. It was more recent.
Was it Family Guy? Because they did it, and they had the band, and they're all playing and everything.
Speaking of Family Guy, this movie
is not based.
Kind of like that murder mystery.
No, that's 12 Little
Episode.
Indians.
He's thinking of
Native
and then
Americans.
there were fewer.
And then there were fewer. Oh, I would say then there were none.
Right, which is an Agatha Christie book,
Right.
which is has nothing to do with this.
No, but this seems like it was inspired in that kind of vein.
Yeah.
That one person's supposed to be picked off each time, and who's the killer? But they don't ever do that.
No.
They set it up like that,
I mean,
and then they
you're
don't do it.
You're in a house.
And they pull up to the house like they do.
Yeah. Oh, who invited us here?
Yeah,
Some
all
mystery-
that.
Have you met him? Well, I heard of him.
Yeah.
But
There's
All that
there's
shit.
little things.
I see. Okay, I can see what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's all wholly like it's not the whole thing is based off that.
Mr. Randy, what did you think of the film?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch.
I didn't.
But
I didn't
you've
get
seen
the
it
chance.
before.
Then what were you talking about?
I have seen a couple of. I did watch like the first half of it. I
okay.
will, but I couldn't. I just didn't have time. I worked, and I was distracted.
Yeah.
Excuses. But
Well, that stuff happens.
I do want to know if this lady dies in the shot. Did she get shot?
The wife,
yeah.
So
she goes in the vat of acid.
No,
yeah, she falls.
The skeleton pushes her
her in.
into the acid.
Is
yeah.
this the doctor?
So
No, that's the husband. It's Vincent Price. And he's going to...
You just ask.
Yes, he did. And that's a pretty cool part, too, where he's like, socialite kills wife with cork.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or when he's like, you tried to kill me last time, and said the doctors couldn't prove anything. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, arsenic on the rocks.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a cocktail. I love their animosity.
Yeah, it's
toward
pretty
each
cool.
other. It's very. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I also, because the house is shown in darkness, you don't really get
Yeah.
to see a lot of it. And the few times you get to see anything, it's lightning and stuff like that.
Oh, my God, yeah. When she's screaming and the lightning's... Where did that come from, and why did it all of a sudden stop?
Yeah.
Stop it.
I never felt like the house they were in was the house that was shown outside.
Yeah, definitely
It
not.
definitely didn't play well for me.
Yeah.
Because the house they're in feels more like a manor, and the house that they show feels not like a manor at
No,
all.
it's like modern artish.
Yeah, almost
Yeah.
like you would think it's marble
Well, it
floors.
is.
marble flooring and
Yeah.
big open rooms. And
An
this
altar
one-
to do human sacrifices.
Yeah.
Because they said it was Mayan influenced.
Like the prediction of when the world will end.
Yeah, all that.
All that classic Mayan stuff. But what was I just about to say? Oh, I think Clue kind of also
Steals from
steals from this.
this? I think Clue came out before this movie
I would've-
originally.
Well, the Tim
Because
Curry
it came
one
from England. And then an American basically ripped it off.
Uh-huh.
But I think it was based more on those books. And it came out before this movie.
Hold on. So Clue, the board game,
Yeah.
is based off a book?
Kind of, yeah.
What?
That's why when you buy Clue in the book, it's a book. Stratego is also based off The Art of War.
It is.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like,
I read the Art of
and
War.
Risk is based off of...
The Art of War,
That's why I was like,
And
wait,
Monopoly-
what?
movie Battleship
That
is
makes no
based off the
sense.
game Battleship.
which is based off
The movie.
The Art of War. Monopoly's based off of
Capitalism.
the Communist Manifesto. I don't know. When I was watching Clue recently, I actually kind of watched it in tandem with this. The
Nice.
day after last year, and it felt very comfortable kind of thing. Like it wasn't jarring to go from that movie to this movie. It
Right.
felt like it was like the next chapter, or even like a weird sequel.
Yeah.
Like the house itself is almost a character in it too.
Yeah.
In both of those films. And
Especially
they
this
feel
one
like it.
because it's got secret doors and all that. A vat of
I
acid.
love the contraptions and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I think it's so cool. I also like how it's classic scary house
Yeah.
stuff too. Like you have the big cobwebs everywhere.
Yeah, cobwebs everywhere.
and dust, dirt, and
Come
debris.
on.
And the mini coffins with the guns in them. Why mini coffins? Who set that up? Everybody was
Well,
away.
he says it's his wife's idea was these mini coffins.
So she hears everybody screaming and panicking. She's like,
Oh, that's another thing, too.
Tough for you.
No, they don't hear everybody. That woman, the typist, is screaming in the hall.
At the top of her lungs.
In her room. And one time they say, did you hear something? No, I didn't hear anything. There's no way you didn't.
Oh
Thick walls.
Thick walls.
Thick walls, thick people.
They crack.
Oh, nobody cared. Did you hear somebody get murdered?
No, I didn't.
I didn't hear it either. Let's go to bed.
But I give this 2 thumbs up.
Oh, absolutely. It's such a fun time. If anything at all, and like I know a lot of people struggle with B movies and black and white movies, so this one comes in color, so you can watch it in color.
Right.
Even though you don't recommend it.
No, it's
You're missing out, man.
it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, and I think because especially nowadays, like there's no TVs in there's no cell phones. The fact that it's in black and white to make it old is easier
sells
to
it more.
Suspend your disbelief for.
It is, and it's got that charm. It just
It's very charming. Very.
Yeah, and like even you, Randy. So Randy is a big propagator of never watching anything in black and white.
Yeah.
I think he would enjoy this one.
I do too. I do think I would. Just how goofy it seems to be.
And it's fun. And I hate to say it, it's not scary.
Not at all. But you want to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, but you're into it and you're smiling, you're having a good time the entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean like it's the ideal B movie horror movie.
It is.
It really is just perfect in every way. I wouldn't say that captured lightning in a bottle, but they definitely created something that stands the test of time.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily.
Definitely.
And like, it just feels like nobody talks about this movie.
No.
You know, it's not one of those like, oh, you've got to watch Citizen Kane. You know, like, oh, you got to watch House on Haunted Hill. Or, you know, this was going to have a song too, like a little theme song.
Was it really?
Yeah. Cringy. Terrible. The lyrics are on IMDb. And I almost opened with that. But
Hit it.
It's just so dumb. But that's the point. It's
the music's all cliche too.
Oh yeah.
It's all cliche. It's really cool.
But it wasn't cliche then.
No.
So a year in review. Sorry to move on. But a year. We've been doing this now a year.
A whole year.
And now looking back, what is one of your favorite episodes, movies, and then what's your favorite like moment?
Like personally for me?
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes. I don't know. I had a lot of them.
Name them. That way they could check out your best.
I think The Fly was one of the
damn good.
best ones we did. That was the first picture, now on home video.
Mars Attacks is really good too.
Mars Attacks was a lot of fun.
So was Total Recall was a good one.
Total Recall was a great episode.
Saw that.
Total Recall was very good. Ironically, I think maybe even the Monkeys episode was up there too. A movie that I didn't think would.
Yeah, that's a good episode for us. The movie sucks, but our thing is good.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I hit the lights off the ceiling?
I do. What episode was that in?
I don't know. One of the early
I forgot.
ones.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I think my
Killer Clowns was also a lot of fun too.
Yeah, it was.
I wasn't there for that one.
And Spaceballs is when you first
That was.
wanted to join in.
Yeah, Spaceballs is a good one.
I think Hobbit is one of my favorite.
That we just
kinda
did?
like.
Oh yeah.
We kind of drag on it, and then we
In
sing
a
the
couple
song.
weeks, the audience will
We
check
sing the
that one out.
song.
That was fun. That was a
That
fun.
one was fun.
That's how it opens too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to look forward to.
Wait a minute. Wouldn't it be a couple weeks ago?
No.
Who knows?
This one.
This is going to air?
Soon.
Oh, right, because it's the anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So coming the first 2 weekends of April will be The Warriors and The Hobbit. So watch those movies and we'll check
definitely.
back with us. I think maybe when we both we're like, all right, we got to talk about this Black Scorpion episode. And I was like, well, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, well, I liked this movie. I'm wondering how bad he thought it was. And we came to the table and we both were like, this is a really, really good movie.
Yeah. Here's a good double feature: the Black Scorpion and the House on Haunted Hill.
Perfect. Or even the Coraline episode, because you had never seen
that
Coraline
was a good one
before.
too. Yeah,
That one I was missing. That was a
Yeah, I was
like
running
you,
TD
Courtney.
that day,
Yeah.
and Courtney was down. And that's Courtney's favorite movie of all time. So she had
that
a
is a
whole
good
bunch
one.
to say about it, and you just watched it, so it was really cool to see.
and I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
which is
crazy.
something I was worried that you weren't gonna like because I just didn't think. I thought you would. I just didn't think you were going to.
Yeah, and when it came out, I didn't care.
Right.
Yeah, it's for kids.
So I already don't care. Do you know what I mean? Going
Into
it,
a movie,
but,
yeah.
yeah. It was,
but it turns out that it's awesome.
it was a nice surprise.
I like it.
But I think that we keep getting better and better each season.
Ooh, we should do the Ghiblies. That could be a month.
More anime?
That could be a month.
You know,
And
I
rank
was
them.
thinking
We could do a
about that.
rank video because they're like an hour long. They're real
the
short.
Studio Ghibli movies?
They're not that long. Some of them.
Howl's Moving Castle?
Okay, you're probably
It's a
naming the
very
longest
long
one. You're
movie.
probably naming the longest one. And I
And
think
it
the rest
feels
of them.
like a long
the
movie.
Pig plane flyer one is an hour.
I'm never watching Porco Rosso.
Either way, but we should do that as an episode. That
I want to watch
cool.
The Cat Comes Back. That
haven't seen that.
I like
The
that.
cat comes back.
Yeah.
These are
The
all
cat
like.
in the hat comes back.
I'm gonna be honest.
where everything turns pink.
You might like one, and that's it.
man.
You'll think they'll look good, but
There are. I mean, it's
some
Japanese
of them have
Disney
no
movies.
plot. Some of them have like My Neighbor Totoro. It's
Nobody can see you doing that, Tom.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Oh yeah, you guys would mimic it.
Come over here.
No.
I think my least favorite movie we ended up watching on this podcast,
Yeah, stinker.
the biggest stinker, the one I'd give the Razzie to is The Wasp Woman. I
still liked that better than Dracula 1972 AD, the one I did. Count Dracula. Yeah. I just saw a list from like Forbes or someplace. Then they were listing Christopher Lee's Dracula movies.
yeah.
And that was second to last.
Well, Dracula, the
last one was
1972 AD,
Yeah, that
That's
was
the
up
one
at the
I
top.
did.
Yeah.
and that one's awesome.
Yeah, no, I think that was number 2. Either that was number 2 or it switched with the first one he did.
The horror of Dracula.
Yeah.
Funny thing, since I didn't watch either one, I should have been like, "Oh, you guys didn't say Dragula," and then I just watched the music video.
You know what the Dracula is, right?
No.
It's the Munsters car.
Yeah. It's,
Oh, cool.
I think it shows up in that Scooby-Doo werewolf movie where Shaggy's turning into a werewolf and the monsters are getting together to have a drag race.
I don't remember.
You know, as they do.
Yeah.
They all have their themed cars.
That's my favorite part of
Scooby-Doo in the 70s was wild.
Oh,
It was wild,
I'm
man.
a real sucker for if your car is themed like you.
The reluctant werewolf. Yeah. Frankenstein and his big Frankenstein head.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. It's funny because I can talk about this movie all day, but I feel like I just start repeating myself.
Yeah.
How's
Well,
that
also,
hard?
you did it before. We were just hearing this guy's take.
Well, the
Yeah,
first
right.
don't watch that episode. It's terrible.
No, it's not. And you'd be listening to it because there's nothing to watch.
Yeah, no video. I part of me would like to kind of do those Poe movies again.
Uh-huh.
The Raven and House of Usher and all those ones.
I dig Edgar Allan Poe. I'd maybe watch those.
Because
If you're a fan of Edgar Allan Poe and you've never seen these movies, you probably shouldn't watch them.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, okay, so they're by our favorite director on this podcast, Mr. Roger Corman, who said, "Oh, okay, I could make a movie out of that," and then made something else and just called it that.
Right.
Bruh. To put it into perspective, The Raven starts, right, with this weird psychedelic, all this kind of trippy colors and paints and stuff, right? And then you see Vincent Price sitting in a chair just like this, and he's making magic. Like that. And then a crow taps on the thing, and the crow's like, "Hey, you're a wizard." He's like, "No, I'm not." He's like, "Yes, you are. Remember? You're right, I am." That's what you're getting into. It's also one of Jack Nicholson's first roles.
And it has nothing to do with the Raven, which is a poem.
Nevermore.
Yeah.
I think they have the poem at the end on
quote the
screen
name.
as text that you can read, and that's how it's connected. Literally, there's no connection. There's a wizard battle.
It's poetry.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
There's no
get it.
wizard
It's
battle.
poetry.
Karloff.
You wouldn't get it. It's a deeper meaning.
But Karloff and Bela Lugosi were in the adaptation of The Raven just before it, which I think might be a little bit more accurate to the actual play.
Yeah, isn't
Or
this
Ironic.
poem.
The Simpsons episode is more to the Edgar Allan Poe than the
Yeah,
movie.
right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's
It's
very
nuts. He was a madman, made 1 million movies, and never lost a penny. Which is
He knew
true.
what he was doing.
He did.
I'm sure Castle probably made money on all his movies too.
He died too soon. A lot of people think that he really had the makings of one of the greatest horror directors, and he just died too young.
Yeah, that's too bad because his movies are pretty good, very entertaining.
And I'm excited to talk about another one in the future. So I don't have anything else to
No,
say.
I'm good. 2 thumbs up,
It's been a whole year.
especially for kids around Halloween.
Absolutely. And it's not, there's no real gore.
No,
There's no real anything. It's
no,
such
guy
a
gets shot, no
perfect.
blood. People go into acid. It's like more abstract. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just fine. It's perfect. It's good.
Yeah, it's
And
got
it's-
good acting too. All of the actors do a good job.
Perfect job. They're all selling it
Yeah.
very well. And it's not mean. It's not mean spirited. There's no. It's campy
Yeah,
and goofy
it is.
and silly and just a good time.
Yes.
So check it out.
Check it out, definitely.
It's in the public domain. It's free to watch on Tubi. I think it might even be
it's
free to watch
YouTube.
on Amazon
I
and
watched it on
YouTube.
Amazon.
It's everywhere. So check it out. I own it. I own. This is actually a bootlegged Arrow. I made that
Oh, right, yeah.
because it's not released anywhere. Why? Criterion, Arrow. Give me a release of this. Come on. It's awesome.
Yeah. Criterion.
Support the podcast. Like, subscribe, share. Remember, down in the comments, put your favorite episode. And you have to like us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and Facebook. So follow us everywhere there. Leave a comment below on this video. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes.
This has been 1 whole year. We're happy to do it, and we're happy to be a part of your family. We're here in your house talking to you.
This next year coming up looks pretty good.
It does. It really does. We'll be back. We'll be back and better than ever. Bigger, better, bolder. Gone where no man's gone before. I have been CheeseFilm.
And I'm Hecubus.
And I'm Randy Official.
And this has been the Grindhouse Podcast. CheeseFilm out.